Starting April 2026, a little-known Social Security rule update tied to the repeal of WEP and GPO could still raise monthly checks for some retirees, widows, and former public workers. And more than 3.2 million people were affected by these reductions in the first place. In the next few minutes, I'm going to explain who may still see a higher payment, why some people already got increases while others are still waiting, and what you need to do right now if your case was never fixed. Let's get into it, starting with the part most people miss. There is one sentence inside the official SSA guidance behind this whole change that could determine whether your check increases or not, and I'll show you exactly what it says at the end. Point 1. This is not a surprise bonus check. Here's what changed. If you've heard the term EM-26002 online, the real money issue behind that conversation is the Social Security Fairness Act. That law ended two old benefit cuts called the Windfall Elimination Provision, or WEP, and the Government Pension Offset, or GPO. Those rules used to reduce or even wipe out benefits for people who had a pension from work not covered by Social Security taxes. SSA said many affected people began receiving higher monthly benefits beginning with April 2025 payments, because the old reductions no longer apply to benefits payable for January 2024 and later. Here's what it means for you. This is not a new COLA, this is not a new law for everyone, and this does not mean every retiree gets more money in April 2026. It mainly matters for people whose Social Security was reduced because they also had a non-covered pension, usually from certain government jobs or some foreign work systems. Stop. This is where most people get confused. A lot of seniors hear Social Security increase and think every monthly check is going up. That is not what SSA says. The increase applies to people who were hit by WEP, GPO, or both. And this connects to that rule I mentioned. Keep watching. Here's what you should do. First, ask one simple question. Did Social Security ever reduce your retirement, disability, spouse, or survivor benefit because of a pension from work where Social Security taxes were not taken out? If the answer is no, this update probably does not change your check. If the answer is yes, then this alert matters. Also, make sure your mailing address and direct deposit information are current in your My Social Security account, because SSA has said that most people who already filed did not need to reapply, but they did need correct account information. So what does this mean for you? It means check whether your benefit was ever reduced by WEP or GPO before assuming you qualify for more money. Point 2. The people most likely to qualify are not who many viewers think. Here's what changed. SSA said the people who may benefit include some teachers, firefighters, police officers, federal employees covered by the Civil Service Retirement System, and people whose work was covered by a foreign Social Security system. That means the key issue is not your age, and it is not whether you are retired. The key issue is whether you had a non-covered pension and whether that pension caused a Social Security reduction. Write this down. If you worked your whole career in jobs that already withheld Social Security taxes, this rule probably does not boost your check. But if you had mixed work, some covered, some not covered, this can matter a lot. Here's what it means for you. Some of the biggest winners may be widows, widowers, spouses, and divorced spouses who never applied before because they were told the old GPO rule would reduce their benefit to zero. SSA's own guidance says that if you never filed for benefits, you may need to file now. And Congress's Research Service warned in 2026 that people who waited to apply can still get higher monthly benefits, but they may not automatically receive every month back to January 2024, unless retroactivity rules allow it. Let me explain this simply. If you already had a benefit on the books, SSA could adjust it. If you never applied, SSA often needs an application first. And this connects to that rule I mentioned. Keep watching. Now here is the big reveal, and this is the part I want you to screenshot or write down, because this affects your check directly. SSA's official FAQ says, December 2023 is the last month that the WEP and GPO will apply. This means these rules no longer apply to benefits payable for January 2024 and later. That sentence is everything. Why? Because if your benefit was reduced under those old rules, the increase is tied to benefits payable from January 2024 forward. But if you never filed, your back pay can still depend on when you filed and what kind of benefit you claimed. Here's what no one is telling you. The repeal is broad, but the timing of your application still matters. So what does this mean for you? It means if WEP or GPO ever touched your record, you need to find out whether SSA already adjusted your case or whether you still need to file. Point 3. The payment change can be small, medium, or life-changing. Here's what changed. Under the old WEP rule, a worker's own retirement or disability benefit could be reduced because of a non-covered pension. SSA's policy explainer gives an example where one worker's WEP reduction was $400 a month. Under the old GPO rule, spouse or survivor benefits could be cut by 2/3 of the pension amount. SSA's own GPO publication gives a very simple example. If someone had a $3,000 monthly civil service pension, 2/3 of that is $2,000. If that person was due a $2,100 spouse or survivor benefit, they would receive only $100. Once GPO no longer applies, that kind of person could see a dramatic increase if they are otherwise eligible. Here's what it means for you. The amount is different in every case. SSA has been very clear about that. But outside estimates show why people are paying attention. A Congressional Research Service summary said CBO estimated average monthly increases of about $360 for affected worker beneficiaries under WEP repeal, about $700 for affected spouses under GPO repeal, and about $1,190 for affected widow or widower beneficiaries. That does not mean you will get that exact amount. It means some people could see only a modest change, while others could see a very large jump. And there is also back pay. SSA said that by March 4, 2025, it had already sent more than $7.5 billion in retroactive payments to over 1.1 million people, with an average retroactive payment of $6,710. Stop. This is where most people get confused. Retroactive payment is the past money. Monthly increase is the new ongoing amount. They are not the same thing. Here's what you should do. If you think you were affected, compare 3 numbers. What your check used to be before the repeal, what your current check is now, and whether you ever received a one-time deposit that looked larger than normal. Also watch your mail, because SSA said people whose monthly benefit was adjusted or who received retroactive money would get mailed notices explaining the change. If you never got a notice and you still think your record was affected, do not guess. Review your case. And this connects to that rule I mentioned. Keep watching. So what does this mean for you? It means separate your back pay from your monthly check and verify both before deciding whether SSA corrected your benefit. Point 4. April 2026 is still important because not every case finished at the same time. Here's what changed. The law was signed on January 5, 2025. SSA began expedited retroactive payments in February 2025. Higher monthly benefits started showing up in April 2025 for many affected beneficiaries. But SSA also said complex cases would take longer and might need manual processing. Then, in a 2026 report, Congress's Research Service noted that new claim filings kept coming in after the law passed, and some spouses and widow beneficiaries were still dealing with retroactivity limits because they had never filed before. It also noted that senators sent a follow-up letter on February 5, 2026, urging SSA to apply the January 2024 effective date as broadly as possible. So yes, even in April 2026, some people may still be seeing changes, corrections, or higher checks for the first time. Here's what it means for you. If your case was simple and already on the books, your increase may have happened long ago. But if you never filed for spouse or survivor benefits, if you had mixed covered and non-covered work, if your pension information was incomplete, or if your case required hand review, April 2026 may still be the month you finally see movement. Let me explain this simply. Before April 2026, make sure your contact information, bank details, and benefit history are correct. If you never filed and think GPO used to block you, file or contact SSA about filing. After April 2026, compare your deposit, your benefit notice, and your Medicare deduction if one applies. Because SSA also notes that higher Social Security benefits can change how Medicare Part B premiums are collected for some people who were previously billed directly. Here's what no one is telling you. For many seniors, the issue is no longer whether the law passed. The issue is whether your individual record was handled correctly. Here's what you should do. Do not assume no news means no increase. Do not assume one big deposit means the monthly amount is correct forever. And do not assume everyone gets January 2024 back pay automatically if they never filed. Your next move should be simple. Check your old notices. Check whether WEP or GPO ever appeared in your case. Check whether you filed before or after the law changed. And if you are a spouse, widow, widower, former public worker, or CSRS retiree who was told years ago not to bother applying, revisit that advice now. So what does this mean for you? It means April 2026 is your reminder month to verify your record, your filing status, and your payment history before you leave money on the table. Before you go, I have one question for you. Have you noticed any changes in your Social Security payment recently? Type yes or no in the comments. I read every single one. Because the next update covers April payment changes and new SSA adjustments. And if you're not subscribed, you might miss it. Also, go back to 2:30 in this video. There's one detail most people miss the first time.